Hey folks, so the whole what the F is going on is continuing. Watching the news, scrolling the news, hearing about all the different politics that are going on, the different noise, reading comments in some posts, like it is overwhelming. And so this goes for however you identify, but really particularly women for this podcast, folks. I'm just trying to think about, okay, what are the skills we need right now to be able to navigate a time when the very identifier of woman is trying to be taken out of federal funding in the United States, or is being demonized in different places and in career ambition and so on. And I'm just like, holy mother of goodness. And so I can rattle on about some of what I'm experiencing or what you might be experiencing, but where I landed for today was what's helpful? What the F is helpful? And part of what's helpful, I think, are two things that I'm centering on. And so I offer this as an invitation for you to do your own practice, do your own work, right? One is find people who love you, be with them lots, understand that life is a bunch of twists and turns, and that all that really matters is the small number of people who are really on your side and who love you. Double down on that. First and foremost, yeah. For me, that even includes my dog. Just find people who love me and just wrap me up, please, folks. Watch movies with me, go for walks with me, tell me you love me, all of that. In terms of our leadership practice, what does that look like? And for me, it's two things, and hopefully this is helpful. And the long and short of it is have a resilience practice, number one, and number two, manage your mind. And man, when we say that, it's so easy to say, but it's really hard in practice. So what do I mean by that? When it comes to being able to navigate all the bullshit that's going on and all the noise and the distraction, and we want to unplug and we start scrolling on social media and you see the alarmist whatever and the whoever said this and that really fucking happened over there. Are you serious? The noise is everywhere. It might even be in your grocery store. I don't know. And so what I find really needs to happen for me in my experience is building a practice that allows me to operationalize my idea of resilience on a daily basis, not just when I'm triggered, but in ways that allow me to have enough resilience, breath, calm, and groundedness. So when all the noise is swirling around, you go ahead and swirl. You go ahead, because here within me, I can be responsive. I can choose what comes into my energy field, into my narrative, into my stress levers. I can manage that and not be overtaken by all the that's going on out there. So what that looks like for me in terms of practicing, it's okay, how am I practicing physical resilience? I'm doing strength training 3 times a week. Shout out to my personal trainer on that. I've needed help. I've needed accountability. I'm investing in that. Fab. I am prioritizing sleep. I am prioritizing rest. Rest can be flopping out on the couch. It can be puzzling. It can be walking. It can be reading. It can be Netflixing. It can be whatever, right? Having laughs with friends and family. That whole idea of being able to manage my time and how I invest in it and how I spend my energy as currency, it's real. And so from a physical lens, it's moving my body, doing all the things. From an emotional lens, it's making sure that I get my meditation in, where I can tap into my own essence and my own self. I don't do it for very long. I don't need to do it for very long. I take maybe even if it's just 5 minutes in the morning, just to breathe. Or it's small things like chopping carrots at my kitchen counter and just breathing when I'm doing it. It's these types of things. Getting down on the ground with my dog for 2 minutes and just being so into just loving her for a minute, right? Anyways, I have a whole course built on building your resilience practice. Go check it out if you like. The point here is that building your understanding of what resilience means to you so that you can thrive in the world and be in a space of being capable to be responsive versus reactive. Freaking important, folks. Holy cow, important for me anyway. That's one thing, because I know that around every corner there could be a trigger, and I need to be able to come back to myself. I need to be able to pause, take a beat, breathe, and come back to myself and keep my window of tolerance open, right? So that I can literally choose responsiveness. So that's one thing. Do you practice that in the way you need to? Because the other thing for me is I really need to manage my mind, because the gremlins, the noise, the narrative, all the chirping that's going on in my head, I need to manage my mind and be really clear about what are my identities and how do I hold true to those? What are my values and how do I align with those? What are the stories I'm telling myself? And this is such a big one. What are the stories I'm telling myself? Where am I getting those stories from? Am I being curious about whether those stories serve me or not? Where am I finding myself getting so deep into death scrolling because I'm trying to tune out, but it's just another pathway for other people's stories to enter my mind. Like, I gotta really manage it, and it's staying in a place, like very growth mindset-y stuff, right? Like staying in a place where it's not toxic positivity or anything, but finding the places where I can access optimism and hope allows me to stay grounded in the power of who I am, the power of stories that serve me, like places of abundance. Like, yeah, the world's going to hell in a handbasket, and it's done this before, and I will do my part at working through it. I will commit my parenting to holding my kids through it with stories that I feel they need to hear. I will stay in a place of laughter with my partner when we're in the kitchen making a coffee, right? That it is not allowing the news, the social media, the stories of others, the comments of others to dictate what goes on in my mind. Because there are three places that we make sense from, right? Our minds, our hearts, and our guts. And that intuitive gut knowing connects and translates with my heart knowing, which connects and translates with my rational knowing. And I have to be able to be in a place of resilience where I can connect to all three, where I can source and stay grounded in who I am first and foremost, how I hold that with my family and those who love me, and then being able to come out into the world in a place that is grounded so that when stuff is going on and we're like, what the fuck is going on? I can breathe. I can continue to practice curiosity. I can continue to engage in conversation and not let it go down some rat hole. That I can manage my mind and I can manage my resilience so I can be responsive and I can model optimism in the world. Folks, it is so basic and fundamental and such a hard practice right now. I don't know about you. Would love to hear from you about how you're doing it, how you're holding it all together today, what it is that is helping you build your own resilience. I'd love to hear some of your practices. And it doesn't have to be reinventing the wheel or some kind of cool whatever. Like, you're making sure you're getting your water. You're making sure that you're getting some sunlight. I don't know, whatever it is. You're doodling on paper. I don't know. You know, what you're doing for you. We can all just learn from each other right now. Folks, resilience and the stories you tell yourself, stay in a growth mindset. Do it in connection and community and love with yourself and with others. Stay in the practice. We've got this.